Developing today, of course, the new patch 10.3, and I want to play a little 10-3 bingo here. There are 3 new champs we've seen in every game: the Yuumi, the Ezreal, and the Karthus. So if you're at home, scratch that Yuumi off the board because that's the first ban here from Vitality.
I mean, it's a sketchy bingo game because there's only 3 champions, but
it's
so
very
far,
easy to win.
Everyone can be a winner. There's only 1 bingo card. All right, so far, 1 of 3 Ender. The Syndra, the Aphelios, this all feels very similar to what we saw in Game 1. Obviously, still a lot of respect to the Syndra flex pick. Aphelios still, I think, the #1 in terms of top-tier AD carries, despite the nerfs to the Calibrum turret, or the Calibrum mark, rather.
So then how highly do teams still prioritize the Misfortune, right? With the Yuumi gone, maybe that means less Ezreal. That's, of course, a strong pairing we've seen even last year, too. Like, I'm not so convinced that Misfortune's like a must pick here, especially with the Aphelios ban. I think AD carry priority could take a bit of a backseat. Now, of course, the benefit to picking an AD early on in the draft is it doesn't really reveal too much of what you're going for your composition because, let's be honest, most ADCs fill a very similar role.
Absolutely. And I think for Vitality, it's going to be the immediate Sett lock-in. This one is interesting.
Okay.
Bwipo, the kind of player that you expect to have something up his sleeve for this one, but I like that the Aatrox is already banned away. Now, I personally love the MF in both AD carries' hands. I think Comp has been very successful, probably one of his more successful picks thus far on the champion, whereas Rekkles, I think, having the extra movement speed from Strut just means he gets to roam so consistently, and if both him and Hylissang are roaming, I feel like Fnatic's doing well.
That's just a really scary Fnatic, right? So you can see they're already going for that themselves. Now the question is it a Leona or is it going to be a Thresh for Hylissang down in the bottom lane? Thresh gives the more defensive option. I think that's something Rekkles would maybe prefer, but if you're setting up like the actual like ultimate wombo combo, that's of course where Leona's going to give you a whole lot of value.
Now the Lee Sin is being paired or joining the MF here. So a bit of engage, bit of disengage, potentially. I like that they're taking this away from Skeanz as well. Skeanz a very comfortable Lee Sin player. And I want to see, usually we see, or we saw a lot rather in the previous patches, the Lee Sin paired with the LeBlanc as just a solid, lots of kill pressure, obviously good mixed damage profile. I wonder if Vitality are conscious of that, if they're willing to take the LeBlanc away here.
Yeah, I actually think it could be the Rek'Sai LeBlanc. I was going to bring up Rek'Sai. I believe this is the champion Skeanz played into the Lee Sin the last time he saw it too. Good matchup there. Level 3, a lot of ganks, especially towards the bottom lane, could be an option. Makes me think even more that Hylissang would rather go for the Thresh himself, sort of keep safe in that 2 versus 2, especially on red side versus the Rek'Sai. But now for Saken, like, obviously he's hovering the ASOL here. Like, the Cassiopeia has been by far his best champion. We saw that in week 1. He looked real good on that one. There's always going to be a very different look, though, and give Vitality a much different style where it's less about, you know, that consistent DPS in, like, skirmishes or fights and gives them more pick tools later on.
Yeah, I like the amount of control that this draft gives them. You know, both the Rek'Sai with the Tremor Sense as well as the potential for Zoe to kind of threaten over walls with a decent bit of vision.
Okay.
I love it. Makes things look good. Now, you heard in the pop quiz what Bwipo want buff. Now, it may not have been buff, but that's not going to stop Bwipo from picking it. It is the Singe for Bwipo. Standing or sitting proud on that stage because he knows why you folks are cheering.
Look, here's my immediate analysis of this matchup. We'll do the rest when we actually get in the game. Sett, he likes to punch you, right? But he can't. If he can't hit you, he's going to be sad, and the Singe just going to be running away from him.
What don't you do? Chase Singed. What does Sett have to do, Ender?
He has to chase people.
Exactly.
Oh.
Hard countered.
It's also interesting because, like, of course, we'll save this for the game.
So for now, it is the Xayah band away. Top lane matchup pretty decided. There is, of course, or normally there would be the potential to flex the Sett, as we haven't seen it played in mid lane, but with the Zoe locked in for Saken, it confirms those matchups. And I want to see what the priority is here. They're going to take away the LeBlanc, a good show of respect to the side of Nemesis. But Nemesis, I think, a lot of options
LeBlanc
into
for
Zoe.
Nemesis? Like, okay. Like, I don't really think of the LeBlanc pick when Nemesis is playing mid lane.
That feels like you're banning against the tier list and the potential counter matchups rather than against the player, right?
Yeah, where Nemesis is going to, like, roll in, like, drop the Veigar on him and be like, see you later, nerd.
I mean, to be fair, Singed Veigar sounds pretty obnoxious. With Spooky Ghosts, with the ability to ground an opponent, I'm convinced myself. I'm ready for the Veigar.
Yeah, are you ready for the Ornn, though?
Also ready for that.
Yeah, because I think it's the Ornn.
Oh, that's fair.
I think, like, you know, Bwipo, you're going to do the magic damage this game. Drop the Ornn in the mid lane. You've seen Zoe be real sad when she can't just one-shot that guy.
It's Bwipo's second Singed game. He put it once in 2018, if I remember correctly. He got solo killed by Vizicachi in lane, messing up a tower dive. So we'll see if he can improve on that legacy. It was, I believe, it was Singed into Renekton. He went a little bit too deep and ended up dying for it. But it is the Cassio now locked in, so taking a pick away from Saken. Of course, good news for Saken is he's going to know this matchup, most certainly. Bad news is There's poison all around. We've got a thematic going.
Oh my god, wait, they actually do. They have the double poison. Wait, that's so insane. Wait, I'm pretty sure she gets the bonus off when she just eats
She does.
when he has the
I'm
poison
almost
out.
unless they've changed it.
I don't think they've
It's
changed
one of those obscure rules that literally has never come up because only Cassio has been good at any given point.
Do you remember like a normal game like season 4, like when you just started out, it's like, let's play Teemo Cassiopeia bot lane. It'll be so broken.
Rekkles spammed Teemo top in off season. But now we have the composition for Vitality. I like that they've just picked down the line. Every player just picked their respective role on their respective pick. But we do have the Kai'Sa Nautilus. We've got the Zoe. We've got the Sett and the Rek'Sai. So we have a ton of pick potential. Good setup on the side of Vitality with a nice balance of teamfight damage. Feels actually pretty well rounded. On the opposite side for Fnatic, I think it's a somewhat similar story. The big difference to me is the Singed pick.
Yeah, the Singe is something we're going to have to look a lot at because this is going to be a situation where it's going to be very hard to deal with the Singed in a side lane, right? Like, of course, people have played against Singe. You know to avoid him at all costs, but a Sett in a side lane is going to be trying to clear away waves, right? While Singe does things. He also is going to be a huge disruptor in the backline, which could give Zoe a lot of problems because she doesn't have that same innate mobility locked into her kit. So this is going to be a situation where Bwipo with like a righteous glory is just going to be sprinting towards Saken and trying to catch him out.
And we saw in the last game, the Zoe does get caught out. Very difficult for her to win fights. However, if you do get an advantage on the side of Vitality, very easy to extend it against a lot of members of this team. Getting closer and closer to the game as the coaches will walk across, shake hands, and get ready. Last words of advice to the players on how to play this one out. And knowing Fnatic, all eyes on the level 1, all eyes on the early game to see what the strategy around this Singed pick is. Bwipo's always got some sort of cocktail pick going on. This time it's a little bit more literal than any other one.
Yeah, and all eyes on Vitality, in all honesty, right? Like, this is a super difficult matchup for them, but this team needs to come out and show something new, needs to show something strong. Just give fans some hope in this team moving towards as we get closer to the halfway point in the season.
Have to. Good to set expectations. Can this team find a win here against Fnatic? Monumental task, no doubt. And here we go, Fnatic versus Vitality. I'd say David versus Goliath, but we say that every time a top team plays a bottom team. So instead I'll say Fnatic favored. So for Vitality, it's going to be about both proving to the casters and the audience that they can execute on this early game and also maintaining any sort of lead that they build for themselves.
And also just proving that Conqueror is busted. They've got 3 of them in this game. It's a Conqueror Singed up in the top lane too, so of course going to be able to ramp that up over time. Makes sense when you consider that Singed wants to be in your face for a very long time. And as we sort of break down this matchup a little bit more, because that was the promise I made in Champs. We'll talk about Sett versus Singed. And the theory around why I think it's so good is like, Singed has always done really well into like tanks in the top lane or people that don't have like a lot of like really high upfront damage. And I don't think Sett necessarily fits that bill where he wants to like beat you over time a little bit more. And on top of that, Sett's W really doesn't give him a lot of value against Singed, especially the shield, because it's a super high shield amount that ticks off very quickly. Singed doesn't have any burst damage, really. Outside of his E, his flip, he's going to be doing a lot over time. So by sort of having this thing that never has a big ability you want to dodge, it makes it so Cabochard can't do a whole lot. And honestly, when Cabochard lays down the W before the flip goes through, Bwipo can just flip him over his head, and then his W repositions. It misses.
And I like that, and additionally, it just feels like, while the good news for Cabochard is that, the pick rate, the passive, is going to mean extra health regen. It's going to be very hard for Bwipo to kill him. I just don't think it's going to be a very interactive lane phase, short of anyone falling behind significantly or pulling ahead significantly, which, outside of jungler intervention, probably just should not happen.
Yeah, so Bwipo did start with a Dark Seal here as opposed to the Corrupting Potion. I think if he went Corrupting Potion, you'd see him playing a lot more aggressively in the early lane, like spamming mana to get the push in this matchup. Instead, he's just allowing Cabochard to sort of slowly push it in on towards his tower. He knows Lee Sin won't be around his side of the map for a little while, but could potentially look for a gank later.
Ooh, that nice big Nautilus hitbox. Somewhat positive trade for the side of Vitality. A quick level 2 means they will get control of the lane. We'll have a bit more pressure. It's not going to mean much for Skeanz, however. Both junglers handshaking on clearing out their bot side before moving to the top lane. So these bot lanes will be isolated for a while. And a hook going to connect again. Jactroll, that's so clean! What? And look, like some people are going to talk about Nautilus hook hitbox, but I don't think that's it. I just think Hylissang was frankly just
we honestly have to
disrespectful.
talk about Hylissang. Like, this happens too much. I'm going to be honest. Like, of course, like, Hylissang, we know him. He's like high risk, high reward type of player, but that was just like high risk, no reward, right? When you know the enemy bot lane's like close to level 2, they have the stronger level 1 over you as well. Like, just big blunder, in all honesty, should not be happening.
Well, that kill is going to make things easier for the Kai'Sa. We'll track the Kai'Sa build path. May still see the Muramana. Have to see if it's the Storm Razor.
Yeah, so I've still been seeing a lot of the Muramana. The one thing that I'll mention now is I've actually seen some people try to go for like the fast E evolve, or instead of finishing off your Gensu Super top
flip
lane.
back, grounded, snared. Cabochard now going to be in trouble, but the Sett should be good enough to pull this back. He's just walking away.
Okay, Skeanz is coming up, so they can't chase because they know Rek'Sai should be finishing his clear towards the top side of the map. So Cabochard will be okay to get on out of here. I actually really like the aggression from Skeanz, who trying to find a low HP Selfmade.
And it's a flash-for-flash trade at the end of the day, but they also burn time from Selfmade. If Skeanz found a Krug camp, he'd be pretty happy with this one, but he does not. Ping's coming out onto him. Pull back there onto Bwipo. Cabochard has to be very careful. Flips back.
Oh, no.
Tower, but not enough! That's the Sett damage. He's healing up. No, the 1-for-1. They literally die on top of each other.
Yeah, Bwipo says we take those right there. You love the combo, though. Like, that change got put into the game like 5 years ago or something. Like, it's been in there for a long time, but like when you flip them, dude, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
But yeah, of course, you drop the goo behind you, and then you just chuck him into it. And he knows he can do it because the minions aren't in tower range. Wait a second. Okay, yeah, so the minions die out to the poison, even though the initial turret shot aggroed towards them, which means that Bwipo was able to finish off that kill.
A bit messy. I'm not going to lie, but
Cinch lanes are always messy.
That's very true. But I like the setup there. Any other champion, they're like, oh, you've laid down the goo, I'll dash away. Against Sett, well, he doesn't get to do that.
I just move a little bit slower, and I can't flash.
There it is. Rekkles, though, will have Selfmade as backup here. Hylissang potentially acting as tasty bait. Jactroll may be tempted to go forward here and fish for the hook, but you can see him backing up. I actually love this patience. Because that's such a bait. Like, that is juicy bait, too. You're like, oh, Hylissang's already over. Step once this game.
No, Jactroll's like, Hylissang's crazy, but he's not that crazy. Oh, top lane. Oh, he did.
Knock up, hold back with the face breaker, the flip over. He's now running out to safety, and oh, couldn't even see it. It was under the ground. Doesn't even matter. That's the haymaker.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought for a second, but we'll get out, but ball lane.
Jactroll hooking to safety. The heal now comes out. The body block coming in from comp. I like it. Jactroll's going to walk away with his life, and Vitality are smashing this early game.
It's not going to slow down either, because right now Skeanz is clearing the Raptor camp. I think he wants to try and come over this wall on towards Nemesis. Now that Nemesis has ticked to 6, though, I don't think that's going to be the case. Saken will just push in this middle lane. Skeanz will take this camp, maybe even the Krugs too, but he really wants to try and bully Bwipo because Bwipo lost his flash so early on, and now Sett is level 6 as well. This is when you want to fight.
But Bwipo's going to lay down a little bit of damage here. Skeanz just going to focus on the camp, but will smite and walk away. And I like the respect shown to Singed. It doesn't seem like a lot of damage at first, but obviously it adds up very quickly. But it does mean that Bwipo just gets a big leash on the Krugs and a bit more XP in his pocket to balance out his lane state. But we have to just take stock of things while we have a moment before people start killing each other again, because it is massive CS lead for Cabochard, 2-1 for the Sett in the top lane. And on the bottom side of the map as well, Comp and Jactroll winning out pretty decisively in this lane as well.
Yeah, so here's play one more time. You can see the Tremor Sense. Skeanz tracking Bwipo into his jungles, just waits over the wall. Oh man, he even uses the blast. No, he doesn't use the blast. Gonna get out. Wait a second. I got trolled there. He turned around, and now he's in trouble. This is where, oh, Cabochard.
Bwipo thinks he's safe, but little does he know, yeah, under the ground, you can't see the hitbox. It's invisible. Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter. Oh no, he TP'd bot.
Back up. Comp just instantly died. Jactroll is next. They went from winning everything to just dying in an instant. That's going to be another one. Hylissang grabs the kill.
This game is moving too fast for replays. We need to slow down here because Fnatic not giving any time over towards Vitality. Now with a level 6 Singed, able to make that play happen. And that was honestly just like, it has to be like good ward placement deep inside the lane with a pushing Vitality, not necessarily tracking that and not willing to respond to the teleport themselves from Cabochard either.
And look, Ender, you said a game with Singed is going to be messy. A Singed lane is going to be messy, and it definitely has been thus far. Bwipo making up for some of the lane discrepancies. And meanwhile, as we check in, bot lane looked like kind of a shining light, honestly, for Vitality alongside top. But now, top lane starting to even out, and mid lane, also starting to look kind of disastrous as Saken falls further and further behind in terms of CS.
I mean, Nemesis is just smashing right here, showing respect too, letting the lane push up, but I actually, even more than that, I love the swap coming through from Fnatic, because as they got the play in the bottom lane, they said, Bwipo, stick around. Selfmade, stay, take the dragon. Now reset. Now Selfmade's going to be getting back onto the top side of the map the same time that Rift Herald is spawning, and there's not an objective, because they took Drake, for Vitality to trade on the other side of the map. So this sort of pulls Vitality into a potential skirmish where Fnatic should be favored.
And you look back at this, good TP comes in from Bwipo. Came into this play, of course, late on the Spectator, but now seeing it in full, it's just very clean, very simple setup. Grounding the Kai'Sa just means there's actually no escape. Would have had to flash so early and still probably would have died.
Unfortunate news there for Vitality, as a lot of the work they put in towards the top side of the map gets evened out. Now, Vitality were able to secure good vision in this top side river, so it doesn't seem like Fnatic want to start that one up anytime soon. Also with Nemesis on a reset, means that they're just going to play things a little bit safer at the moment. I also think when you look at like overall scaling between these two teams, you have to give the advantage over to Fnatic with the consistent DPS of the backline of Cassiopeia. On top of the fact that you also have this Singe that's going to be a huge disruptor in the backlines of Vitality against two relatively, like, you know, immobile, Forsaken, low range for comp. He can deal a lot of damage and just cause so much, like, annoyance for those teams.
Skeanz, though, going in. Knockup comes out. Ulti going in from Nemesis as well. Saken trying to chase down, but hasn't been able to land the bubble. Nemesis flashes away. Big commitment here from Saken. Takes an extra flash. Can't commit for that one. Rek'Sai goes over. Bit of a fumble on the cooldowns there, but now they have to be careful. Skeanz needs to make his way out of this one. Has the knockup to cancel, but the kick clean from Selfmade denies the unburrow opportunity.
That's the only way to do it too, because it's not even like Skeanz has to like reactively knock up. If he just A-clicks the ground, it will automatically unburrow and interrupt Lee Sin's Q when he comes on through there. So by CCing Skeanz, so he couldn't get that knockup, it allowed him to finish it off.
Jactroll, we thought he had a chance to back, but this is not that opportunity. Now has to run away, not getting anything done. Comp watching his support die for the second time this game.
How is this happening? Just caught out in the river like that. Fnatic like all over the map right now. Now Singe just pushing in towards mid lane. They're able to pick up another objective for themselves in terms of this Rift Herald. They picked that up pre-14 minutes too, so that'll likely go into one of these lanes to knock down a tower, get some plates on some of your carries. Like, just drop that Nemesis lane. Get him even more fed now and on this Cassiopeia.
The thing that makes this so scary too, right, is that, don't get me wrong, Comp is holding on to his CS advantage. Comp is looking fine. But the other strong point for the map, which was Cabochard, the more you look at this Fnatic composition, the more useless you realize Sett is as a champion. And it's nothing against Cabo. We'll hold that thought as we look back at this play. But the execution here, a bit fumbled, but at the end of the day, they get the kill, and I think that's what matters for Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, Nemesis super greedy, right? Oh no, he had used his flash at this point, so couldn't really dodge from that. He was trying to walk into Saken so that he would take less damage from the Zoe Q, so I can totally understand this. This is what I was talking about again, though. Flash, kick. Skeanz can't knock him up. Yeah. Feels bad, man.
But as I was saying, Sett can't chase the Singe. MF has Strut, she just walks away from you. Rakan also gets to dash away from you. Cassio has infinite stuns, infinite snares, has Conquer 2. Might even be able to outduel you. All this extra gold, all this advantage that Cabochard has built up for himself, I don't actually see an easy way for Vitality to utilize this champion.
Yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really don't think Sett is the greatest first pick, especially now after the nerfs where a lot of his dominance has been toned down a bit. Like, it's really easy to pick a lot of CC and make it so they can't access your backline, so that you're only really effective when you come in from a flank TP or like the perfect flank 2 where you can close the gap to the backline without like them sync. So you can do it from the fog of war or catch them off guard. That's where Sett can be effective when we come into team fights, but like, he doesn't have like a stationary front line, like a Sejuani to be punching in the face in this game. He doesn't have anyone to really grab.
Comp, flash to safety.
TP behind though.
Ultimates. Comp now going back in. That's crazy. They're going to continue on the play. Jactroll now moving forward. Cabochard looking to make a difference. That TP, it might not be a flank, but it might still be enough. Facebreaker to pull Rekkles back. Timed as it comes out, but not quite timed well enough. Rekkles with a clean flash to escape.
Down bot side, though, that's the Rift Herald going down, and Fnatic have enough members up here to clear away the minion wave. So really nicely done by them to stall out the dive, even if they had to use everything to make it happen. They're still pushing down bot lane, too. Vitality cannot get back in time. They must get this tower.
Has to be a big commit, though. Cabochard just walking, just flexing, just hoping to catch them. Nemesis locked up. The CC is there. They're going to dunk him down. Nemesis can't get anything done. The knockup comes through as well, and Rekkles just has to watch his team die. That's going to be big for Vitality.
Uncharacteristic greed there from Fnatic, sticking around the tower after they had an opportunity to get away from that one. Regardless, Vitality still want to base because there's a lot of minions. They're losing to that tower on the bot side of the map, and with the fortifications increasing, the more plates you take down, the more members in the area, Vitality just could not punch through it quickly enough.
And I gotta say, good on Vitality to react to the initial attempted pick onto Comp aggressively. Hard thing to do with confidence. A lot of teams would just let Hylissang get away with burning that major cooldown. He'd have it up again for the next fight, but they do double down. They do try to capitalize. At the end of the day, sadly, Fnatic still coming out on top, still holding the gold lead, getting the second Drake as we convert over to the Inferno map.
They're just getting every objective here. And oh no, Inferno map. This feels so bad for Vitality's comp, actually. Like, Zoe, she wants bigger walls to fire through. She wants brush that she can sit in to throw those bubbles out from. Rek'Sai too is a champion that loves walls. Otherwise is tunnels to get over wall. Like, it just, this is actually the worst case scenario for the map choice. I'm going to be honest here. Of course, it is a good dive from Vitality to come on through here. Not really much of anything Fnatic could do to escape. Rekkles just like looks on in horror, like, did you really need those minions, guys? Really? It's like now Comp has kills.
Yeah. The good news is Sett's really happy about the lack of walls.
Is he though? Because like, if I'm Sett, I'm like, I just want to sit in a bush and then hope they face check.
But now people can't go over walls to get away from him. Like
that's
the Rakan,
true.
The Hylissang.
Now, I will counter that one more time and say that Fnatic have a lot of champions that can't go over walls, so they're fine.
True. Yeah, Inferno Rift.
Inferno Rift, like, it feels bad.
It does definitely feel bad. Zoe especially, I think, the biggest one that you already mentioned
For sure.
there. Bwipo, though, very comfortable now in this game, has the Rylai's, so speaking of ways to make Sett useless, there's another one, sadly, for Cabochard. And, like, look, I'm not trying to rag on Cabochard. I just think that the champion here was a very bold pick, and I think that execution, anything Cabochard does is worth, like, double points in my book for the rest of the game, because it should, in theory, be next to impossible.
And again, if he can get in range of a carry, like, this champion is really, really strong. I do want to, you know, like, service that, at least, because with a flash, with a TP coming in around, like, you can just instantly lock someone down unless they have a QSS. Your team is going to be able to punch them out. Now, the question is, do Vitality, like, full commit onto that type of a target? Because their comp can only really go forward. It's really hard for them to run away. So these fights are going to be explosive and going to be decided very quickly on the side of Vitality.
And as we check in, gold is actually still very close. Of course, Nemesis continues to scale, continues to get scarier. Singe is honestly a very weird champion in terms of how he scales, but it's just going to be more and more obnoxious as the game goes on. And I like that Selfmade is just waiting here in the darkness.
Whip was a weird champ for sure.
Whip was a weird champ. Or, did I say? There you go. The Hello! Selfmade! Honestly, fantastic mechanics this game. Clean insect to kick back there over the wall. And you know,
Selfmade's clean.
Selfmade is clean.
He's clean,
It's
man.
good look. And if there are any holdouts that were like skeptical, like, I don't know, is he going to have the same Lee Sin moments like Broxah did? Like, that's a pretty good case, you know?
Yeah,
That's a
like,
good look.
Broxah had some sweet kicks, right? Like,
sure.
don't get me wrong. Like, Selfmade definitely has some shoes to step into here, but doing well so far in 2020.
And there's Cabochard's flash gone. No flash, no TP. We're going to be waiting a little bit to see more from the Sett. And the pick does not amount to too much yet. Fnatic pushed in for a bit more vision. They are set up to take control, it appears, of the bottom. Actually, and to a certain degree, the top side of the map. Fnatic very content just playing a very spread out map, it would appear.
They're going to be comfortable doing that, because one of the things that you sort of underestimate in a Cassiopeia pick is, like, she sort of slots in similar to Ryze in terms of, like, DPS power in a sideline. Obviously, she doesn't have the repositioning ultimate to group back up with the rest of her team, but, like, no one on Vitality can, like, go match her by herself. Similar with the Singe, as no one can actually, like, deal enough damage, lock him down long enough to kill him, even if they would out-damage him in a long fight, but I still would favor him over a lot of the champions on Vitality's team. So, like, Fnatic going to be very comfortable to split out 1-3-1 across the map, pick up as much resources as humanly possible, whereas Vitality, because they're running the Zoe, would much rather be playing 2 lanes, right? Like, push out one, like, Cabochard just rotate between top and bot, while the rest of your team just pushes out through mid lane and tries to set up for these types of objectives.
Oof. And it doesn't really get easier too, because you're right, because as Fnatic grab 3 waves of farm, as 1 or 2 creeps are lost here and there, as Vitality keep trying to group up to try to force something, the gold advantage for Fnatic will only continue to grow. 2K now in their favor off of that last pick from on the comp, rather.
Now Hylissang's actually finished off the Shirelia's Reverie, so a little bit more move speed to try and force these engagements. Allow Bwipo to get into the fight.
There's the big engage. They've knocked back. They kicked everyone through, but it's a disaster. What? They kicked him out of the fight. They're still going to find the kill. Can Fnatic get a little bit more here? Jactroll trying to run, but will get taken down there. And Comp going to get flipped back. There's nothing you can do. He's running you down. But he walks away. Comp? Oh, wow. Okay,
I really thought they were getting the kill
so
there, if I'm being honest.
Absolutely won that fight, but when we watch that back, it is a bit of a comedy of errors. There's definitely a Hylissang kick out of a misfortune ult. There's some crazy, like, Bwipo flips back when everyone else is trying to go forward. It was good. Fnatic won that play, but they're not going to look back at that one with a smile on their faces.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out again in the replay, because right now Fnatic are getting absolutely everything they could want. They get the Rift Herald, Infernal Drake is just about to spawn, so they can sort of mosey their way on over there after picking up a couple resets, finishing off some items too. That's a Black Cleaver now, 18 minutes, 2 items on Selfmade, so he has a massive advantage over Skeanz at the moment. That's just going to mean, like, any fight they take, like, it is a Fnatic win for sure.
Yeah, hugely favored. See what Vitality can do. Cabochard's TP is now back up. Maybe they get the next fight. But we look back at this one. Love the initial engage. Everything about this spez montage to me. And then...
Oh, he flips him out of the knockup, as you said. Then they kick him away. Skeanz, or Saken will burn down.
To be fair, and I'm wrong there, he was still in range of the bullet time, so it all works out well for Fnatic.
It's all right. Now, Comp just ults get a little extra range, and then heals too. So there you go. He's fine. They don't want to dive the towers.
Actually, yeah, not bad. Obviously not, like, ideal. Some wasted cooldowns there, but
it's a little funny at the start. But like,
and
the zeros tell the entire story, Drakos.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the Sett pick.
But also, very interesting that the damage burden of these fights has been almost entirely carried by the Lee Sin and the Singed on the team with the Cassio and the MF.
To be fair, I would predict that from the...
Oh, dunked back. That's exactly what they need. Hylissang now taken out instantly. Bwipo has to run. Has to be careful. Comp gonna flash out to safety. The ulti coming in from Rekkles zones the rest of the team away. TP comes in for Nemesis. The Herald has been used mid lane. Vitality are going to be late to the rotation on this one. It should be in the tower for Fnatic. Vitality will back away. Still
take it for another one. They should get 2 towers off this play as well, because the entirety of Vitality is zoned. They're moving around. They're teleporting in from behind. This is a fight Vitality must win to stay in this game.
Cabochard, but they know it's coming. Jactroll has to throw the hook eventually. Cabochard, no flash available.
What? Why do you TP in if you don't have ult?
I think they didn't respect, because Fnatic have that ward in the mid lane. They saw the TP coming.
Sure.
Maybe they were hoping that Fnatic would walk right back down mid lane. They could find that flank. They could get the dream fight and everything would work out. But Fnatic smartly have mid lane warded, and it means they just walk down.
I know what's going to happen now, Drakos, is with a TP advantage and Bwipo finishing off his Leandries, he's going to waltz into bot lane, he's going to push straight towards that inhibitor tower, while the rest of Fnatic just posture around this Baron, right? They'll try to lure Vitality into a fight, they'll try to lure Cabochard away from the bot lane, and if he doesn't come away from that bot lane, they TP in with Bwipo from the back, and then they can find their fight pretty easily. Now, this is the play where Hylissang gets caught way out, did not expect Cabochard to be there at all, and the point and click is going to be absolutely deadly on towards Hilly, so good play there from Vitality to punish. The problem then is with a Rift Herald in the mid lane, like, Fnatic can just sort of run it through.
Yeah, and the reality is the Vitality's composition very highly dependent on kind of positioning tools to make sure that they're in the right spot to actually be effective. So the second they burn everything, it's not that they don't have the damage to kill Fnatic, it's that they can never really get in position.
Oh, there's about to be a fight. Look at this monstrous fight. TP and Hylissang on the back. They want Saken so bad.
Control bubble, though. It's going to lock up. There goes a lot of that TP advantage we talked about. Fnatic, well, honestly, well played by Vitality to defuse the situation, but Fnatic, I think, too keen to try to force that one.
Yeah, they wanted that to be the fight that ends the game. Now they're going to rush into Baron. I have to think they do this, right? If they can keep Hylissang in the fog of war, because they should know that Vitality haven't had a lot of opportunities to put vision towards the top side, so it's just disruption duty for Bwipo and Hylissang. Keep Skeanz away from the pit, because right now Fnatic are firing it down.
Going through. Goes in from Jactroll, does get flipped back to the team. Not the 5-star to the fight that they wanted. Buys a bit more time with the stopwatch. Comp now coming in, but there's no way for him to step in. Jactroll giving his life for nothing, and Bwipo's meanwhile in the back line is going to get dunked down by Sett as Cabochard tries to run for the hills, but that's honestly going to be it. Fnatic just walking down Vitality, punishing them for their lack of coordination. Skeanz maybe done. Ulti goes out. No, still has it. It's on a few second cooldown. He's going to be able to make it out. No, knockups there. Selfmade will find the kill, and Saken and Comp now have to run. Hylissang going to find the snare, going to find the lockup. Look at the kill. Is it enough? Nemesis not going to happen, but there it is. Comp finds one back, tries to dash to safety. It is simply too little too late. The ace coming through for Fnatic.
Fnatic coming through with the firepower right there. Bwipo just running down the entirety of Vitality with Selfmade right behind him. That duo has been almost unbeatable in these fights, and it feels so bad for Vitality too, because they were running in to the fog of war. They just really didn't have many options. They had to face check, and Fnatic just punished them beautifully for it.
Bwipo just gets to take this wave. In any future situation where he has a TP advantage, he can triple proxy waves.
So here it is one more time. Jactroll just queuing the wall to get in range. He gets a little bit too far in range after the flip comes through. But then Bwipo, like, he's just chasing down towards the top side, makes Skeanz flash away from him. And now Cabochard, that's when he realizes, like, he messed up, right? Like, he's out of position pretty poorly there, has nowhere really to run. And that snipe was pretty nice on towards Rekkles. Like, Saken really trying his best to save this fight, because it wasn't just that. He also landed the bubble onto Nemesis a bit later on, but Zoe has to take these fights slow, and if your champions can run at her, you can't do anything.
Selfmade MVP. If Fnatic win this game, I'm calling Selfmade MVP, because that body block just absolutely saved his mid laner dies in the end.
He's also connecting like every Sonic Wave, right? He's had good kicks. Like, he's been team fighting very, very well.
Where's he going? He's going to kick back. Jactroll knocked to the team. Now uses a highway to escape. The suppression comes down. That's going to be big damage. Now it's Cabochard in the midst of everything. This is his time to shine. The haymaker comes in. He flashes forward. It's not enough. It's too little too late. Saken and Calm can't hit anything. So now Bwipo is back on the chase, running down Skeanz. This guy can't leave. Comes the flip. Walking him down. Nope. Flipped back. Just uses it to finish off the kill. Fnatic are going to grab Baron here. Selfmade's going to grab Dragon just to make sure that it's the Soul as well as the Baron. That's going to be it. Vitality are dead men walking now. Fnatic are simply too strong and are only getting stronger as both these objectives
hold
will
on.
fall.
Vitality are moving towards the Dragon. They're not going to be able to steal it away. Maybe they can find... Nope. He just walks out. His ult's up soon, so like in 10 more seconds, he can turn around and solo kill Comp.
And once again, similar to last week, we saw a few moments in the early game where it looked like Vitality were really going to take control, but the second Fnatic started, I don't know, like took the gloves off, they never had a chance.
Yeah, and that's typically the story with like new faces, rookie teams. Like, this is 60% a rookie lineup here for Vitality, right? So like, you expect them to have like high individual performance, especially early on before the team play really comes involved. You saw Vitality get a kill in the isolated 2v2 in bottom lane. Say what you will about Hylissang making a mistake, but you know, Vitality have been able to find some early plays. It has just never been able to close out. And I don't think they did themselves any favors either when it comes to the draft, because this is not an easy composition to try and play out. It's heavily reliant on Zoe being able to find good bubbles, on being able to like find the perfect initiation, and against what Fnatic have built, they're just heavily outmatched.
And it's difficult too, because we heard it from the desk already. Frostgoran asking to see Cabochard sacrifice himself, use his veterancy, his strength, his flexibility to benefit others on the team, to kind of put himself not first. But it appears that the strategy from Vitality is still to put Cabochard in a position to succeed. Sadly, on a champion like Sett, very few positions where he succeeds.
Yeah. He's not been able to do much. Even that last fight, like he gets into the back line, but Comp and Saken were single-handedly zoned from the fight. They couldn't get any damage in there, so like the follow-up was never going to be there because Bwipo and Selfmade are just so good at disrupting.
And we saw it already. He's just so far behind now in gold that the Dream Sett montage is just pretty dead. He's only at 2 items. Maybe though they can get something here. Bit of poke goes in onto Hylissang. He's going to dash out to safety. 2 grounded effects, though, make it very difficult for Vitality to commit to any kind of play.
Yeah, mid lane push now coming through from Bwipo, too. So the tower slowly getting chipped away. There's a big wave working in top side, too. So after this next push, just come on through. Fnatic going to try to break this tower. This may be where Vitality try to go for their final play. So that tower should drop quick.
Comp relatively strong for that Sonic Wave connecting.
That's a really important bubble on towards Hylissang. If he doesn't get slept there, I think Fnatic can step forward a whole lot more aggressively. Now the waves are sort of desynced. They can't quite reach that cannon minion, though. That's going to take the tower. They have to shift their focus to mid lane because this one's going down.
A few more shots. Saken trying to find poke. Could not hit the cannon minion. Fnatic going to break that one. Inhibitor should be next on the list. Top lane, massive wave building, and it's stopping just outside of the tower, too. So it's just there for Fnatic to pick it up.
Fnatic may just look for a fight here to end the game. They have double cannon minions. They have Bwipo rotating on over here. Instead, going to back away towards mid lane. The wave pushing on in, not taking any chances here.
I mean, it's 8k gold advantage.
Oh my.
Infernal Soul and a Baron buff. Vitality takes an actual miracle for them to get anything done here. Cabochard trying to step forward, but he just takes so much incidental poke damage.
Vitality just can't pull the trigger, so they're going to slowly watch as everything gets taken out of their base. A second inhibitor should go down to that cannon minion. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, back in.
They're going to Australia's. They'll take it. They'll back off. Sleepy Selfmade. Oh, locked up. That's a big shutdown. The knockup going to go through. Oh, if Comp wanted to go, if he wanted to risk it all, he could go in and instantly find the kill, but I just don't think it's worth it.
If there were any wards from Vitality behind Fnatic, that's an instant TP from Cabochard. They force that fight, right? That's where they draw the line. That's where they put their last stand, but they just haven't been able to get back on the map in so long. So Fnatic get to go back to the base. They have, 1 to 2k gold. to go ahead and spend. Don't forget they have that Infernal Soul too, so like even more damage coming in whenever they look for these fights. So Fnatic have all the tools they need now to like set up for Elder Dragon into a Baron into an end, if they even need that long. Because quite honestly, if they wanted to press, you know, say go right now, they could. They could just run straight down into top lane and force Vitality to just give up more, because with 2 waves of super minions coming in into mid lane and bot lane, there's just no real way for Vitality to defend.
No, and it doesn't get easier. The strong point right now for the team is Comp. Comp could be good in theory in an extended fight, but it's just simply too hard to reliably hit most of these champions.
How does Comp kill Bwipo, right? Like, the only way this fight, like, could work, like, if I'm theory crafting it, like, Cabochard has to jump into the back line with Skeanz, CC someone, and then Comp, like, ults into the back line. Yeah. Because otherwise, a Singed is killing him, and he can't beat Singed the 1v1, so he just has to run, right? So it has to be a full dive, full commit on towards Nemesis or Rekkles. Otherwise, there's just nothing they can do.
There's always a chance. The beauty of the Sleepy Trouble Bubble is it only really takes one change of game. Comp, though, stepping into Hylissang is going to walk down. They're looking for this pick to get things kicked off. They'll get the flash as well as the ult from Hilly, but trading the ult for Comp. Is it going to actually be a positive trade here for Vitality? In an even game state, of course it would be, but here it's a bit more.
Oh, here comes the TP from Cabo on the flank. He has flash, he has ult. They must find the Fnatic backline.
Here comes Cabo. As you said, running in.
There's no ult on Comp, though.
He's coming in. He's dunking him down. Rekkles now flashing back instantly, but it's a beautiful ult from Nemesis. Instantly the fight turns. It's so clean. It's everything that you wanted. It's Selfmade and Nemesis versus the world. They're obliterating everyone. Nemesis, that ult was game-changing.
Nemesis just popped off. I've never seen anything like that. The ridiculous petrifying gaze in the 3v4 situation while the rest of his team just ends the game. Just perfect stuff out of him. Fnatic gonna find the win.
And say what you want about Fnatic, but they sure know how to end a game in style. Clean performance, the last hope of Vitality snuffed out on a beautiful play from the Fnatic lineup.
Man, like Fnatic, they had a huge lead, but Nemesis just made my brain explode at the end right there. I think he made Vitality's brain explode too, because those guys threw everything at him, and they could not find it when it mattered.
I feel like brain explode might be a little strong, but I do love it. It was a fantastic.
I couldn't
play.
like formulate words, right? I was just like, what?
Sometimes all you have to do as a color caster, speaking behind a play-by-play caster, is go. That's it. That's all you need. Did it justice.
And sometimes when you're Nemesis, you just like pull off the insane ultis, 3v4.
Look, it has to feel good because he was getting picked left and right in the early game. He was clearly the focus. Jactroll's ults were made for him. But overall, clean performance from Fnatic. I feel like every single member looking relatively good after some of the early mistakes there. And yeah, Selfmade looks like a monster. Bwipo busting out the Singed again. What's not to love? Hylissang tying at level 1, but
I thought you were going to say you don't love Hylissang. I was like, bro.
Hylissang, no, Hylissang, great. Level 1 was rough. I'm looking at him right now. But after that, beautiful. Love to see it.
It only went up from there.
Yes.
A lot, like, and this reminded me a lot because last year, Fnatic played the Lee Sin Rakan combination so much, and it was all about finding these beautiful flanks. They pulled so many of those off in this game with the TPs from Bwipo as well. It just reminds you of some of the best moments that this team has had in the past.
Absolutely. Well, key player of the game, it's time to vote, folks. Let us know who you believe in. Bwipo, Selfmade, Hylissang, they're the options at LEC on Twitter. Who do you, I don't even know what to say. Who do you vote for? It's a big question. One I don't have to answer because after 2 losses in a row, we have to ask the question, is Rogue the real deal?